everyone that you should take advice from, because I do feel like some people actually give you advice based off their own fears. That's why, whenever like you want to achieve a goal or something, people always say like just keep it quiet, keep it on a low, or until you see that thing succeed. Because some people will literally tell you not to go for it. They would basically tell you not to achieve your goals. I'm not saying they're telling you directly not to achieve your goals, but they'll basically try to discourage you because they're scared, because they wouldn't take the leap of faith that you would do. Does that make sense? Like they won't do the things you would do because of fear. So it's not as if they mean it in a bad way or like just in a way to like not because of jealousy, but I think it's more from a place of, oh, I've never done that before, or like, I don't think it. I don't think it's possible. So that's their limitation. And then you're out here believing other people's limitation and then deciding that, oh, yeah, this person told me not to go for it because they tried it once. And I think one thing I've noticed as well is that like people give you advice because they feel like they've tried it and it just did not work out. So from their experience, they're thinking that, oh, let me just try and help this person out. Some people it's not even from a place of helping them out. I'm not gonna lie to you. Some people it's from a place of, well, if I couldn't do it, what makes you think you can do it? Like people are just weird like that. And that's why they was like, just be careful about who you ask advice from or who you even tell things to, because some people you don't even have to ask them advice. They just want to give you that advice anyways. But I mean everyone is open to give their opinion about anything. But what I'm trying to say is that you just have to be discerning and be careful about the advice you take. And one thing I've noticed is like in the past, I am not going to lie to you guys, I used to talk a lot. Like I still talk a lot, but now I know who to tell stuff to. And even my closest friends, it's not as if like I don't want to tell them stuff, but there are things I refrain from telling them yet until I just feel like okay, it makes sense to tell them. I don't know, like because in the past I just say whatever. Like it's not like saying random stuff, but like just everything about my life. I would literally tell people, like, you don't even have to ask me. Like, I would have just told you, like, sit down, this is what's going on in my life, this is what I've been through. And like, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with explaining or telling people about what you've been through. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying, like, just oversharing. That's the word, like, just oversharing for no reason. And there's actually not, and I feel like a lot of times oversharing also comes from like as someone who used to do this, yeah, if I'm being honest, the reason why I used to overshare as well is because sometimes I just couldn't deal with the silence. I I know that sounds weird, but people who overshare will understand this. Like it's like maybe you're having a conversation with someone and then it's just silent, or it's just like there's just a lot of silence, or you just feel like I don't know how to put it. You feel like it's too quiet, so you just start spilling everything because you're trying to like cover up the awkwardness. Basically, I used to do that, but now I genuinely don't. I just like whenever I have a conversation with people, I genuinely have it from a place of if I feel like you should know something, I will tell you. If I feel like it's related to what we're talking about, then I'll bring it up. But if it's not needed, if it's not needed, I won't bring it up, of course. Now I know. But then in the past, I used to just overshare. And it was really bad because there's some people who just generally should not have access to certain information about you. Like, I don't know why my pinky's up. The song Pinky Up. Let me just, well, there's just some people who shouldn't have access to some of your information or a lot of your information about your personal lives. And one thing I've realized, guys, I used to have a friend and I really, really like, she was basically like a sister to me. And I used to tell her a lot of stuff. I don't even, I don't like talking about like personal, it's not like I don't like talking about it, but I mean, these people are not in my life anymore, but I just don't, in case they watch and they're like, why is she bringing up my, and I just don't want that drama in my life. But yeah, I used to have a friend and I used to like tell her stuff, but one thing I realized is that she barely told me a lot of stuff. Like she would just keep certain things to herself, and I used to feel really weird about it because with me, I'm a Gemini one, and also sometimes I bond through conversations, through like deep experiences, like sharing your experiences with people. I tend to bond like that as well. Like that's one of many ways I bond with my friends. I find it really weird when I'll tell people things or tell someone I'm close to. I'm not expecting to tell a stranger something and then expecting them to talk to me about their personal lives or tell me about their own life history. That's not what I'm saying. But people like literally your best friends, your close friends, you will expect them to like have that sense of reciprocity. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to tell me everything about your life all the time just because I'm telling you. But I think the thing I found weird about the thing I found weird about that friendship is I realized I was the only one who was always sharing things about my life, like sharing details about my life, but she barely told me anything. And that might be okay for people who you don't really know that much, but if it's someone that you've known for years, it starts to feel a bit one-sided because it feels like you're the only one in the friendship. You get what I'm saying? Because girls love to talk. Girls love to just share experiences. They love to tell you about like guys. They love to tell you about their relationships, about what happened. Like that's just how girls are. So when you have a very close friend and they're meant to be a close friend and they just don't tell you stuff, you start to feel like, oh, and I'm not saying like deep stuff. I'm just saying like it just felt like she was barely saying anything about her life. And it was just really weird. I later found out that that wasn't even the only issue, the only reason why I stopped being friends with her. Don't even let me go into it because I feel like if I say it, and if the person watches the video, then they'll know that I'm talking about them. And I just don't want to be messy. I don't like drama, guys. I just remove myself from drama whenever I notice that like, don't put me in there because I know I'm going off track, guys, but do you not actually feel like when you find yourself in drama, it's so ghetto? Like, I'm just like, I don't want to be involved in this. Like, I don't know. I think it's because I'm a private person and I just like to I keep to myself. So there's certain things that I find embarrassing. And fighting, like, especially publicly, is embarrassing to me. I know, I just don't like it. Like, it's just, yeah, I just don't. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that like it's not every time you also overshare. Sometimes you keep certain things to yourself, and also like it's just like another level of mystery. It gives people chance to also want to get to know you more, know like find out new things about yourself. But apart from that, anyways, on another note, oversharing as well can bring evil eye. Like that's one thing I've realized, guys. I have so many experiences. I have so many. So one day, I will share some of my experiences. But I remember when I used to be so active on social media, like Instagram, Snapchat. Every single thing that happens in my life, I would put on Snapchat. Like literally, in the morning. Oh, so I mean, like I told you guys, I can speak for days. I can literally talk. I'm not a boring person. So if I'm in a conversation with someone and the conversation is boring, I am not the problem. Because guys, I can talk to anyone at any time about anything, literally. But yeah, so I'll literally go on Snapchat, post, just post what's going on in my mind and just write that whole thing down on Instagram. I used to just be so active and there's nothing wrong with that. Um, but growing up, I've just realized that sometimes you just need to keep your mouth shut. Like I used to realize that there were times that I would say certain things. Of course, now I know as a strong spiritual person that I am protected, and like regardless, I'm not going to put that limit on myself that like if I say something to someone that it won't work. I don't want to. I've decided not to like have that limiting beliefs because I do believe that what's for you is for you. Any blessing that is for you is for you, regardless even if you tell someone is still going to be for you. But at that time, I'm not going to lie to you, I still have a bit of paranoia when it comes to it. So I still try not to tell people my business because I think in my head, as a Nigerian person who, yeah, especially if you're Nigerian and if you're African, you know about the Ojuju thing and evil eye. So just to not also, I don't know, in my head, I'm giving my the opportunities or the things I want to start in my life the best chance by not saying it earlier to people. If you get what I'm saying, that's one thing I've learned because, like I said, when I used to be so active on social media, I used to tell people my business or just open my mouth randomly. I realized then that it just felt like things were not going well. Like, it just felt like things were just not pushing, they just were not going the way I wanted it to go. So I decided to like just take a step back then, and I've not been as active on social media as I used to. But guys, before, oh my god, I was a social media queen. I used to be on there just chatting, just saying stuff. But now I think as you grow up and as you grow older, you just realize that there's certain things that you should just keep to yourself. Like it's not everything you tell people. And you don't have to tell everyone, you don't have to tell people the whole story as well, because they really don't need to. Like, what are they even going to do with the information? Guys, if I'm squinting, it's because I wear glasses. And yeah, I'm trying to see what I'm like. Life as a glasses wearer is just not good. Anyways, but yeah, so, like, people just don't need to know. There's certain people that you can tell if you have that trusted friend. Like now, that's something. Now I've realized that, like, I have just a couple of friends now, and those are the people I genuinely trust, and I can tell, and they don't judge me, and they already know who I am. And I think this is one advice as well. If you're someone who likes to um, like overshare, or just you want advice from people, you should have like one or two trusted friends, like someone that you can tell that, someone that you know that they genuinely want your best. Like even then though, you still have to be careful, because like I said, people do give advice based on their experience. So sometimes it's not even like someone is wishing you bad, it's just because they're just giving you advice based on what they've experienced. And you can't really, like, you know you know what I'm saying, you can't really say that they're wishing you bad, they're just giving you advice on what they know. But some people, they would genuinely give you a bad advice because they just don't want to see you win. And that's another part of it as well. So it's just like, when I'm saying don't get, it's not everyone you ask advice from, I really really do mean it. Because even earlier this week, my dad came into my room and he was giving me advice about what's it called, like, about my course, the like, I did a specific course in uni and I didn't like it. I've already said I didn't want to do it. And it was just a big thing in the family, and it's been going on for years of me saying I don't want to do something. I don't want to do that course. Like, I don't want to go for it. I've finished it in uni and I just don't want to continue with it in my present life. And like, it's just been like going off about it. And it came to my room again, trying to give that advice again. And after listening to that advice, I'm just thinking, one, like, you don't even know me. You can't know me more than I know myself. And I think this is one thing you have to realize as well. When you're asking for advice from people, great, take the ones that you feel like actually makes sense to you or works for you, and you like your intuition tells you that, okay, this is actually aligned with where I'm going. You got to, or it just makes sense to you. Like, you, I don't know how to. We're all smart. We should be able to know what advice is good for you and what isn't. Like, you just can tell, because there's some advice that just rubs you the wrong way. If an advice rubs you the wrong way, then you should not be taking that advice anyways. You get what I'm saying? If an advice is going against your gut, it's going against your, like, your internal compass, then you should not be taking that advice no matter what. Like, if your instinct is saying that, like, oh, let's not do this, and someone is saying, like, just do it. And if you, I'm telling you guys, another thing, when people give you advice from a place of fear, don't do it. Don't do it. Take a step back. Make sure that you want to, if you want to do it, then make sure it's from a place of you actually want to do. You feel like it's aligned. You feel like this is actually what you want. But when people give you advice from a place of fear, that's one red flag. Just run, because at the end of the day, people sometimes panic because of certain things going on in life, and then they try to put that panic on you, like try to pressure you, try to make you do what you don't want to do. And this is how you make mistakes. And I always tell people, like, these people that give you all this advice, like this bad advice, like, you don't know where they'll be in the next 10 years, and then you will be the one left with your decisions. Literally, I always tell people, like, in the next 50, 60 years, people who are older than you and I give you advice that don't work with you, in the next 50 years, they will not even, let me say next 50 years, in the next 5 years, because people change so quickly. In the next 5 years, this would be the same people that'll be telling you that I don't remember giving you that advice. And also, even if I, pardon, I just shaved my eyebrows, so the S funny number. But yeah, they'll be like, even if I did, shouldn't you should have used your own initiatives to make decision, like, because I'm telling you, people are like that. People don't like being blamed for something, especially when it comes to your life. They'll be like, yeah, I gave you the advice, but you should have literally listened to your own self, or you should have made your own decision. I don't know if you guys watch Nollywood, but there was this movie called Monica. You guys should go watch it. And basically, there was one specific part which is relevant to what I'm talking about. in that specific part, the mother, she literally bullied this girl. She made her life hell. And she found this man that she wanted to marry. The man loved her and everything. And he wanted to marry her. And then the woman was like, the mother was like, oh no, he can't marry her. He has to basically let her wait for like a specific amount of years. Um, Basically, she wanted to take advantage of her as long as she could because she knew that if she got married, if the girl got married, then of course she will not be carrying the burden of the family anymore. Anyways, fast forward few years down the line, our sister, the girl's sister, which is the mother's favorite, graduated and basically, guys, it's I don't want to ruin it for you in case you want to watch it, but in conclusion, the younger sister wanted to get married, and then she was just so confused because she was like, but I was even older than my younger sister at that time when I wanted to get married, and you were like, oh, I'm too young and blah blah blah. And do you know what the woman said? The mother basically was like, well, who asked you? Like, you should have basically um like if you were that serious about marrying him, you could have ran off with him. You could have basically just gone ahead to marry him by basically disobeying her. And she was just so up because literally this was the same mother that was telling her that, oh, you must not marry the man, you must not do this, and she made her life a living hell. But few years down the line, after, of course, this girl, she's like older now, and like I'm telling you, much, much, much older. And our younger sister was getting married, and the mother was like, "Well, I didn't force you not to marry him." So this one I'm trying to tell you, people will go back on their word when they see that it doesn't go well. It's like, because that's it. Like if someone gives you an advice and it actually goes well, they'll be like, "Yeah, I was the one who told her to do that." But when it doesn't go well, they'll be like, "Oh, I don't remember telling you to do that." And even if I did, you have the power to make decisions for yourself. So that's what I'm telling you. Like, you have to be careful when people give you advice because people will lead you the wrong way, and they will literally not feel bad about it, and they will literally just take their hands off completely. They'll be like, ah, it's not me. They will act like they don't know you. But guys, just be careful. Just make sure you're using your discernment when it comes to um getting advice from people. At the end of the day, people can give you advice, but you have to remember that the decision does still comes from you, and you have to also, I don't know, you also have to be responsible for that decision for the rest of your life. So when you're making decisions, just make sure you're doing it because, I don't know, it's something you actually want to do, not because you're pressured to do it, not because someone is forcing the advice. Because some people say they give you advice, but they're not giving you advice, they're telling you what to do. Okay, like that's even another point. Like people be like, oh yeah, I'm advising you. Why didn't you take my advice? And advice is just you're just, I guess, putting that out there like, oh, this is just a suggestion. And advice is a suggestion, not a must do. So yeah, some people just believe that you have to take their advice all the time. So you have to be careful and just always make sure you're using your intuition, and just make sure that you're not around people who genuinely want to give you advice just to lead you down the wrong path, or just because they don't want to see you win, because we have people like that in this world. But yeah, that is all for today, for this week. I hope to see you guys next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Bye.